justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the Bryan Board of Public Affairs meeting for June 16th, 2015. First thing on our agenda is to approve the minutes of the May 26, 2015 meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Al?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes. Okay, next thing on the agenda then is a hearing of public concerns. Seeing none, we'll move on. Number 3, the clerk treasurer's report.
The board's been presented with the clerk treasurer's report for the month ending May 31st, 2015.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Al?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Number 4, a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement with Orchard Road Properties, Ltd. for properties situated in the city of Bryan.
Okay, this would be a resolution number 22, 2015, a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement with Orchard Road Properties Limited, Ltd. for the property described below, situated in the city of Bryan, county of Williams, in the state of Ohio, being 4.0 acres more or less. This property is directly west of Dabbling Corporation. Actually, Orchard Road Properties, David Swanson, owner of Dabbling, owns. That's his company. Mr. Swanson approached us shortly after the property was purchased, it's been probably 6-8 months ago now, inquiring about the availability to buy at least 4 acres of that first 20-acre lot, give or take. And at that time, we were very strong on keeping our 20-acre lots as 20 acres. Also, during that time is when I was going around talking to a lot of the business owners in Bryan and outside of Bryan, asking, basically, is the utility doing enough to meet some of your needs? And this is one of the needs that was brought up by a lot of business owners, the ability to expand their businesses in town without leaving us. So we sat down with Mr. Swanson, discussed it, sort of got the mayor involved and Rhonda and everybody else. I know council approved this through ordinance last night at the meeting. To give you a little history, Mr. Swanson's company, Dabbling, has been in business 33 years in Bryan, so it truly is a hometown business. They have a payroll of $2.5 million, so they're not small potatoes, they're a nice sized company. He added 20 new employees in 2014, and with the way his business is growing, he anticipates that continued growth in the near future. In fact, he's already, if approved, council approved, and if the board approves this land purchased by him, he's already planning and meeting with engineers to construct a 10,500 square foot addition on the west side of the property. So I think it's a great thing. I really do. The industrial park as it stands, if we sell this 4 acres off, which I'm hoping we do for him, there's still 3 20-acre lots available and 1 14, 15 acres, give or take, because we have to use a little bit for a buffer zone. We, and I'm saying the group that I help work with on this, we have no intentions of splitting any more properties up. This one made sense. A 33-year business in Bryan, we should do our best to keep him here. He's treated the community well. He's been a great asset for the utility. I think those are the groups that we really need to help develop economically, get them going. So I would respectfully ask that you guys really consider this.
Any discussion?
Spoken.
Just for the record, and what is what business is he in? What does he do?
Light therapy?
Yeah, I want to say light therapy in a greater sense. He has medical grade, almost like tanning beds that help with psoriasis and a bunch of other things. I know Mr. Swanson and his team that works for him, they're pretty amazing people. They're already evaluating, and looking at even the LED technology for what they're doing. So people don't realize that gem that we have here in our community. They are a very high tech.
He's involved. He's on the hospital board, and he's also on the finance committee to the hospital board. And he's very smart in finances.
Yeah.
I've dealt with him in the hospital.
And that company is very good to its employees,
Correct.
too.
Yeah. And you talk to them, it's all about the Bryan community, staying here, making this a better place than what it is, making a difference. I mean.
And he's very active in that theater group.
Yeah,
Mhm.
these are the kind of people we want. These are the kind of businesses that we want to keep in Bryan. You know, we don't want nobody to come and steal them. So,
Well, and this will work out well too for that little 4-acre section that we
Yeah, it
kind of.
kinda evens it off.
It evens it up,
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's almost a no-brainer.
Yep.
Agreed. I have a motion?
I thought somebody made a motion. I said something. I don't.
Did you make a motion?
I thought I seconded it. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Al?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jim?
Yeah.
Karen?
Yes.
Number 5 then is a request to hire temporary part-time laborers for the communications video crew.
okay, we had laborers as in plural, but Joshua was one of the individuals, and Josh actually accepted a full-time job just the other day with another company. So I'm excited for him. I hope everything goes well. It makes sense. He was going to get part-time with us and full-time with somebody else. So I would respectfully request to hire Christopher Bryce as a temporary part-time laborer for the video production crew. Christopher has an associate's degree right now with an emphasis on video communication. He's currently working on his bachelor's degree. You know, we feel that Christopher's skills, his education, would just be a valuable asset to the department. I mean, just help Eric and that group do what they do. So I would respectfully request that we go ahead and get Christopher on board to get us going.
And I know Christopher, I think he'll be a really good fit.
Excellent.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Al?
Yeah.
And number 6 is to set a date for BPA planning meeting, and we were looking at midsummer, early fall.
So I want to throw this out to the board because we did cancel the first board meeting of this month, June here. My anticipation for you folks would be that we still get that second meeting in because it does make sense that we need to. That June 30th is the date that I would like to see you guys try to get this planning going for me. Reason being, I will be starting here real soon, working on the budget for next year. The sooner I have any kind of special projects or any kind of direction from the board in the sense of they want us to look at certain power resources or water projects or whatever, you know, I need to be able to build that into the budget, model it in there and see if it makes sense. So the sooner the better for me. And that June 30th, that's sort of at the end of the month, it really works out. Plus, it helps me get whatever bills I need to get paid at that time through you guys. I mean, so it's a true meeting.
Is there a chance that we could get a summary early?
Yeah.
Like maybe either through the end of May, or, you know, that quarterly summary? That first one was really good.
Yeah,
I
let
liked
me-
how you had
let
that laid
me-
out.
Let me see what I can get to you next week. I'm down at AMP tomorrow and Thursday, and Friday will be a catch-up day, but let me get on my agenda to sort of update that quarterly summary, get a little sooner to you guys and let you know where we're at, and I'll shoot it off to you email-wise or whatever works.
So does the 30th work for everyone?
What day shall that fall?
I'm assuming it's a Tuesday, am I correct?
It is.
It is
Tuesday.
Yep. Works for me.
That's going to be the planning meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I know what time.
What time?
The usual, 5? Does that work for everyone?
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
That's a Tuesday, right?
Yes.
You need a motion for that.
Yes.
I move we meet on June 30th at 5 PM for a planning meeting.
I'll second.
Karen?
Yes.
Jim?
Yeah.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
And then it's time to pay the bills.
Okay.
You'll pay them? They're on Al's.
Al, thanks.
You're so generous.
I'll write you a big check.
Hey, did I tell you,
It'll bounce.
we got the invoice for that turbine, the first one, so if you're up to pay that one.
That's why you got senior citizen of the year.
He's very generous.
Al?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Okay, Number 8, comments from BPA and staff.
Just a couple things. And we included, for just informational purposes in your packet, the letter, very draft, as a letter to the customers. We anticipate sending out potentially in early July. Al did some legwork for me. You want to step up and talk about the CHIP program and what your plans are?
Approach the board, drop a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry. Oh, it's okay.
I'll grab you one.
I'm on, well, that's all
I got
right.
an extra one here.
I can share.
We'll share.
No, we have one in our letter, in our,
Yeah, we
That's
just,
what we got before. You know,
yeah,
Oh, yeah, this
We
is.
got this before. Or there been same changes?
Yes, there,
little change.
yes, there's one, fourth paragraph down, Lou assisted me adding a fourth paragraph to encompass this program through Maumee Valley Planning Organization. It's called the CHIP program. It's a community housing improvement program. Homeowners in the city of Bryan and Williams County can apply for this if they meet like certain 5 points of criteria, I guess. One is have a household income below 80% of the median income. Be a homeowner in the city of Bryan or in Williams County, have homeowners insurance and be able to obtain it. And 4 would be property taxes are current. And 5, own a home that needs repaired. Eligible repairs or replacement items, and if you see down there, there's a list of them, and electrical is one of them. And I talked to Liz Keel from Maumee Valley Planning, and she thought this was right up, would really help with people that are eligible for the program, and they'd be able to get with this group. And what they would do is get a group of them together and go out for bid, and go out, have a contractor place a bid, maybe to do multiple replacements and get a better price and go through them. They'll be able to assist with that. So I thought it was a good program for what we're trying to do here, and it'll help out those that are maybe tight with their money and stuff. And so we're at least, trying our best to help them people by going through this program, or at least giving them to make them aware of it.
Excellent resource.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Nice work.
And they're willing to, let us put it in our mailer with our letter. So we'll go ahead and if everybody's okay with that paragraph, and then we'll just put that in the mailer with this, and that way it gives everybody the heads up that they're able to apply for that.
So-
And maybe get some help.
For Al.
Something's gotta be done.
So Al and his team did a great job of actually going out and verifying every address that we know that needs this upgrade, about 270 of them. And unfortunately, Al and I sort of have the same mindset sometimes. We're very project driven. And I give Lou a lot of credit on this because we're ready to go with this, give you guys a little letter and show you what's going on. And Lou's like, time out, realize the board asked for this and you guys are forgetting it. So Al and I were like, okay. So Al took it on himself to go out there and beat on doors and ask people what's out there to help the elderly and the people that, that do own these. There are others that we won't be able to help. There's the landlords that own these properties. They may not be qualified for this, but the people that we had the concern for the most, elderly and those that are less fortunate, this may help. So
yeah, this will
Al
address the
did a
biggest
great
concern
job.
I had when you presented it originally.
Yeah, so, hey, thank you, Lou, for
Yeah.
getting Al back and myself back on the true and narrow, and Al, thank you for really digging into this.
Yeah, I will mention, I did contact the Department of Aging, and I contacted the VA and NOCAC, Northwestern Ohio Community Action. They weren't in today, but I left a message, and I expect to hear from them tomorrow, so there might even be maybe stuff available for that. The VA, they pretty much, they run a pretty tight budget over there, and they, said if they have a veteran that, that maybe needs some help, they'll send them their way, and maybe there might be things that they can help them with too. I don't know if there's different, I don't know, there's not like a program set up for it, but if a veteran is, maybe wants to look into it, they can go to the VA office and maybe get some help there too.
I'm sure they'll do anything they can.
How's that for an advantage for multiple, or for municipal utilities?
I had someone that asked me, they have what's the word I want to use? Inappropriate service. And he has to change his, and they told him it was going to be about $2,000. Does that sound a little?
That's probably on the high end, I would guess, but
Yeah.
I don't, I would strongly suggest they go and get estimates, from
Yeah.
different state certified contractors, electricians.
Okay.
Anything else I can answer, or questions, or any concerns?
No?
I did.
It's a
Good job.
relief.
Good job, Al.
Job well done.
It's a real relief to know that
Good
there's
thinking, Lou.
something that some people can have.
Right. Okay, thank you.
And a couple other things I wanted to cover, I did also include in your packet, just some information on the changes since we have brought the Persera offline, how it managed our bandwidth. Joe, do you want to address it in a scaled down version, or you want me to hit it?
You go ahead, and I'll ask any questions.
Okay, so effectively, remember that piece of equipment managed the capacity so if you think of a piece of a pipe with water flowing through it, we manage that level of water in the pipe. With the Tier 2 compliance under the FCC, we have to turn that piece of equipment off. Now, I'm not going to get into the science of it or the engineering of how that equipment works. I'm just going to keep it very flavored down, okay? So we turned that piece of equipment off May 31st at midnight, correct? Was it May 31st?
June 7th.
June 7th.
In the morning.
Okay, so the pipe itself, prior to that, we would use about 457 megabytes of our 500 megabyte capacity, and it managed that capacity. So again, 100% being full, you're sitting at 45% full, and there's all kinds of room for it to get more water, if you want to put it in simple terms. Once we shut that equipment off and opened up the free flow of information, and when I say free flow, that's any downlink or upstream or downstream needs from groups like Netflix, any other streaming services, on how they interact with our stuff. The capacity jumped to 686 megabytes, and we've seen over 700. Now, luckily, the board approved us to go to a 1 gig circuit. We're in a 1,000 megabyte circuit, and Joe had it pushed through rather quick. So we didn't feel the pain of it right away, but there is pain there. Realize capacity, now the pipe is 70+% full all the time, okay? So with that, we could see potentially slowdowns in some areas of town and other areas not affected by it. Pretty much what we expected to see, and we've already forewarned you guys, the board, about. Not a lot we can do about it. It is what it is. This is where we're throttled down at. I do know we've ran some trending software that shows more than what we used to see internet customers maxing out their cable modem connection than we had in the past. And again, it's because of the ability to get that much capacity and use it, okay? So that's just something we're throwing out there. It's nothing we can do to change that. So what we do now is we balance the system as a whole. So now we go back to an electrical analogy. We balance it on the transmission side, not the distribution side. And the distribution is the line that goes, the pipeline that goes from here to the house. That we can't balance by law. So please realize that the number of active devices in your home doing certain functions will greatly affect your connectivity experience at times. in simplicity. Simply, if you've got 5 iPads or computers on streaming Netflix or any other streaming service, you are going to see it because it's going to cause you to buffer. If you're 5 on just surfing the internet, probably won't notice that much because it's a different type of bandwidth it's trying to use. So what you're doing at home will greatly affect the overall surfing enjoyment you're going to have. Okay? So questions, comments?
I see with all the new technology, especially the streaming, that's just going to increase. I mean, that's just going to get more, there's going to be more and more and more. I know we discussed, do we have any place to go after this?
And how much has school being concluded for this, being out for the summer affected this as well, I suppose?
Just without having numbers to really tell you guys, I'm just telling you from a gut feeling. Yeah, everybody home, and you know, the college kids are used to being on the net all the time because that's what you do. That's, you know, you're interactive. A lot of the school-age kids, as in even the high school and elementary, are very, very active on the internet. More than just surfing. It's downloading music, watching movies, playing video games. I mean, that's the kind of draw, that's a heavy draw. Just surfing the internet, reading articles, that's not much. Can I tell you that this is going to have some relief in the fall when, you know, you see that mass exodus out of the area from these college students? I don't know. We don't know yet. This is rather new. You know, Joe projected out what he thought we would see. Did a great job. A little higher than anticipated, but high enough. We're close. But I can't tell you 6 months out what it's going to look like. We are with Ken. You guys know Ken's phenomenal. What he does, he's running training software right now, just keeping an eye on it and recording it. Recording as in, boy, we're at this level today. We're at this level. So that's the best we can do is monitor it. It's no different than what we do with our power system. We monitor the load and the levels on each individual feeder as well as the overall, and we manage that. So
it's being balanced on the overall system. I mean, as opposed to just areas. I guess what I'm wondering is, you know, Bryan, you said that it'll be balanced in a different way, or did I misunderstand?
So here's.
I mean, are we still going to see? Are there going to be sections of towns that are going to see it, or I mean, is it going to be system? And what be?
So here's what potentially could happen at times. If you look at the system as a whole, each substation in Bryan is an access point for the communication side. If, let's say, substation A over by Curtin South has a heavy draw on it, those customers will see a slowdown. And of course, when you see a slowdown, some customers will get frustrated and turn equipment off because you're frustrated. As you turn the equipment off, it's no different than pulling water from a pipe or power from a power line. It relieves the pressure on it, and those speeds start to come back up. But because it's a moving target, you now have this target where, because this is relieved, you might see congestion. In the world of electric, we call it congestion, but in the communication side, you would call it slowing down over by our Baker Street sub or our Daggett Street sub. And again, through natural process of people turning stuff off or being frustrated, that will go up and then relieve itself and then move again. Yeah. And we're seeing that. Some of the graphs I included in your paperwork, you'll see, you see the 24-hour snapshot and then Ken included a couple of day snapshot, and you see these trends. Well, it's very cyclical. This time of day, everybody's home trying to get on, we start to taper off. In the evening, we're fine. It's I shouldn't say interesting, it's the right word. It's interesting how it really acts like an electrical system with peaks, your peak demand times. I mean, they're there. And I don't necessarily think we're going to have any relief at the FCC level for a while, because right now it's going through litigation. And I have the stuff that Joe keeps me informed on, and Joe gets continually emails every day from American Cable Association and other groups. It's being litigated, but in such a manner that probably by the time it has some kind of resolve, we're already going to be 2 years into it, maybe 3 years into it. You know, it's sort of like everything else. It's thrown out there and you have to defend it, and by the time you get the answer, you're already past, go. So, the last thing, something better this time. Great national conference. I'm glad Jim and Bonnie went with us out there. I hope everybody, other than it's trial by fire, when you start throwing terms out like RTOs, ISOs, PJM, 111D, climate change, and all the legislation behind it, it can be daunting to try to pull all that information and get as much as you can out of it. It is a very good conference for that. It's a needed conference because I know a lot of people don't feel that that kind of stuff affects us at home here, but it really does. Everything that's going on in DC with this hits home rather quick. We're feeling it on the FCC stuff with our communications. It's no different in the power grid. These things that are going on there can drastically change our transmission side of our bill, which is a very heavy portion of what we pay as an overall group. So, thank you for going with me. I would encourage any other board members that have an opportunity to go with me on a trip like that or a conference to learn, jump on board. I know fall conference with the AMP group is coming up. They do a good job of also bringing this to light and try to break it down so that everybody can understand it, because this is changing daily. So, questions, any other comments, Jim, Bonnie, on that?
Well, there were a couple of good ideas
Oh, yeah.
that we heard and we were kind of discussing a little bit that we'll probably bring up.
Yeah, there was a lot of good things, good speakers. That one speaker, senior editor for Fortune magazine, he was good, and he was entertaining. A lot of explaining the politics, how it affects us, and how things have changed, how people are hired, and retained. Yeah, it was a good conference.
I enjoy it when you get a PJM, which is our transmission service provider, it's the bigger group, and they start talking, they're one of their economists, they almost sound like a transmission salesperson, you know, because here's how we're going to do it. So, no, but thank you. Good trip. Very good trip, good information. I'm good.
Lori?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Al?
Joe, you ought to be happy. The advertising up, it's 48% as of May. June, and you come by, so good deal.
Good.
Life's good.
Karen?
Yes, I wanted to say I enjoyed reading about the projects that each department is doing. You did a very good job of summarizing everything that's been going on, so. Other than that, I just wondered if the Auglaize was doing well with all this rainwater.
Well, you know, I tell you what, I was just flipping through my notes, and this is my fault. And I forgot where I just said it. So Sylvia and Matt have been working to give you the Auglaize generation numbers and make it, so it almost mirrors the same look as our solar facility. Our numbers have been really good. There's 5 years of training data here. Unfortunately, we were 2 weeks ago excited that we have kept the flashboards up, even though they're bent a little bit, they were holding water and we're getting production. But after Northwest Ohio monsoons the last 5 days, we've lost half of the flashboards, and our generation is, I don't want to say down, but it's limited right now because there's so much water that we've lost head pressure to spin the turbines, so it's just blowing over top. And with the rain we're supposed to get again another day or so, I have a feeling we're going to be fighting it for the next couple of days. So.
And I was talking with Matt about debris, trees, you know, and it's like, we always wondered, are we ever going to run out of trees coming down through here?
There was a bunch this year.
He said you cannot believe all the dead trees that are still in the backwaters that are going to come out. So I'm actually going to take a boat ride. We're going to take a ride up. I want to see.
And then we're going to put the buoys back together for the third time this year.
Right.
Well, with the erosion, naturally the trees will come out.
Yeah.
And see, that was a fantastic idea that Matt come up with, taking them in the center so they break.
Yeah.
Because we used to have to go down below and chase them. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, they're stable against the bank right now.
Yeah.
But production is, as much water as we had, production will be down because there's too much water. You know, you get past that critical point.
Yeah, then you get the tailwater.
Yeah,
Thank you for asking and bringing that up. I should have hit that sooner.
just curious.
No.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Dick?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.